Good afternoon. So today we're going to be discussing diseases. There's two types of diseases in particular. I'm not going to name them yet, but I need everybody to take out a sheet of paper. And on that sheet of paper, I would like you to write down what you think the definition of disease is. And anything you can think of that can go along with disease. So I'd give them like 2 minutes. Then I want you to write down any types of diseases that you can think of. So, for example, the flu is one, or AIDS is another one. Anything that you can think of. I'll give them 2 minutes for that. Now, if you haven't guessed already, today we will be discussing diseases. Two types of diseases in particular. But before we discuss those, on the way into class, I handed each and every one of you a blank index card. On the front of that index card, there is a shape, a letter, there's different symbols on everybody's index cards. And now on the back, I want everybody to stand up and go around and get 5 different classmates to write their names on your index card. Make sure it's their name, not your name. And side note, so before class, I pulled 2 students aside and I gave them an index card that has a circle on it and then an index card that has an X on it. I explained to both of them that the circle means that student has an infectious disease, and I told them that I want them to go around and sign as many people's index cards as they can, or else the activity won't work. And now the X means non-infectious. So the student that has the X, they are either standing in the back of the classroom by the sink, they're blowing their nose, they can walk into the hallway and go get a drink, go to the bathroom. They have to do something in order for nobody to sign their index card, and they can't sign anybody else's index card, or else the activity won't work. And so when everybody's done, I ask them all to go back to their seats. And I tell them a little story, just to get their minds wandering. And I say, since I am your health teacher, it is my duty to make sure all of my students are healthy, which means that I know if any of you have any health issues. The school nurse contacted me this morning and told me that one student in this classroom has some type of disease, which is contagious. It's called the common cold. Now, this student doesn't know that they have this disease, but I know that they do. So, can I have the student with the index card that has the circle on it please stand up? Because remember, I told them it was infectious. So, do all of you remember how I had you sign each other's index cards? Well, for all of the student that signed Ashley's index card, now you all have the common cold. Ashley, can you please read the names of the students that signed your card? So she reads them, and those students stand up. And then this activity will go on until every student is standing in the classroom. So after I ask Ashley who's on her card, I ask another student, Bob, who's on his card. And all the students on his card will stand up. So it'll go on and go on and go on until everybody's standing up except the person with the X on their index card. So everybody that is standing right now has a disease called the common cold, all because you signed each other's cards. And does anybody know how all of you got that infectious disease? And somebody will answer, because we were all touching each other's things. We weren't smart about it. We also didn't know that person had it, all different types of answers. So then I tell them all to sit down, and I tell the person that didn't stand up before, please stand up now. So that person stands up, and I say, Joey, who signed your index card? And he goes, nobody. And I'm like, how come? So he says, because I was washing my hands, I was blowing my nose, I went to the bathroom, you know, there's like a bunch of things that he could have done. And I say, because you were being smart and you were being cautious. And then I ask him if he signed anyone else's card, and he says no. And I tell him that's because he's non-infectious. Since he didn't share anything with any other student, he's non-infectious and he does not have the common cold. And he's pretty much the only healthy one in class right now. So then I tell him to sit down. And then I go on and I ask the class, does anyone have an idea of what types of diseases we'll be discussing today? And somebody gives me an answer of contagious diseases. So I go, yes, along those lines. So they're actually called infectious and non-infectious, or contagious and non-contagious. Then I'll go on to show the class a short clip, 5 or 6 minutes. It's about how it tells you what a disease is, what's the definition of an infectious disease, non-infectious, how to prevent them, treat them, how to stay safe and stay healthy. And after the video clip, I will have a short presentation. Oh, there's 16 slides. So in the presentation, we will be discussing what a disease is. I will give them the definition of an infectious disease, also, and like other names for an infectious disease, like it could be contagious, it's a communicable disease, how they're caused, how infectious diseases are caused. I will give them names of different types of infectious diseases, so examples of infectious diseases. I'm going to explain to them how they can be spread. I will explain to them that some of them can be prevented by a vaccination. I'll give them a list of ways to prevent infectious diseases. Then I will go on and I will explain to them what non-infectious diseases are and how you can, or names of different types of infectious diseases, ways you can develop a non-infectious disease, ways to prevent a non-infectious disease. Then we will have a little review about what we did. So I will ask them what a disease is. Diseases can be, and they'll give me the answer, infectious or non-infectious. And I'll ask them what are infectious diseases. They'll say contagious. And then what are non-infectious diseases? They'll say not contagious. And how are both caused by? And they'll give me the answers to that. So then I give them a do now. Now, in the PowerPoint, I have I think it's 8 questions. Yeah, there's 8 questions that I put in the PowerPoint, but I also have a worksheet. It looks like this. So I have the students write their names, and it's a group work. So I have the students write their names on the top, and then I have all the questions here. They're on the PowerPoint, but they're also on the worksheet. So the questions that I have here is define disease and name 2 classifications of disease. What is an infectious disease? What are the 4 different types of pathogens? Name 4 ways infectious diseases are transmitted. List 4 ways you can prevent getting an infectious disease. What is a non-infectious disease? What are the 3 ways you can develop a non-infectious disease? And list 4 ways you can prevent getting a non-infectious disease. So each group will be working on these questions for however long they have to work on it for. Then I will wait till all of them are done, and then I have another activity on my PowerPoint presentation. And on the back, I tell them all to have 2 columns. So one side will be infectious and then the other side will be non-infectious. And I have a list on the PowerPoint of different types of diseases that they have to separate into infectious and non-infectious. So for example, I have kidney disease, Alzheimer's, common cold, chickenpox, influenza, asthma, and so on. So after they're done with that, then I have them take the worksheet, make sure all of their names are on it, and I have them pass it to the group that's to the right of them. So every group has a new group's piece of paper. So we're all gonna go over it as a class and grade it as a class. So when we're done with that, I will collect them, because that will be my assessment for the day for my class, to see if they get above 80%, if they actually learned something from me. Hopefully they did. And then if there's any time left over at the end of the lesson, I will give them a word search that they can take home. And if they bring it back by next class, they will get an extra 3 points. This is what the word search looks like. There's 30 words down here. I know it's really big, but I made it so just in case there was a lot of time left over in class that they're busy. So that's my lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed it.